Are you ready to step up from data scientist freelancer and into your comfy data entrepreneur shoes? Excellent, because in this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps you need to take in order to make that transition as seamlessly and profitably as possible. For the very best data leadership and business building advice, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon in order to be notified when a new episode drops each week. Even if you're a really seasoned data science freelancer, I know these steps are going to be valuable to you in pinpointing some of the missing pieces that are keeping you from being as profitable as you could be. How do I know? Well, I started out as a data science freelancer back in 2012, and since then I have supported over 10% of Fortune 100 companies. Not just that, but back in 2018, I started coaching other data professionals to start their six-figure data businesses, and to date, over 10% of my mentorship clients have landed six-figure contracts within the first 7 months of signing up with me. Hi, I'm Lillian Pearson, and I support data professionals to becoming world-class data leaders and entrepreneurs. Now, before getting into any of the details about how to transition from data freelancer to data entrepreneur, let's just look at what each of those terms means or what I'm referring to when I say them. So for data freelancer, I'm referring to data service providers, people that sell their data services on the open market. In some cases, data freelancers may be operating with a team, so either admin people or other types of support personnel helping them to deliver the work they sell, but it's always service-based work. Now, in contrast, as a data entrepreneur, you're showing up as the CEO and visionary behind your business. You're also showing up publicly as the face of the business. And lastly, in terms of delivery of work, particularly with services, you are most commonly delegating all of that, if not significant portions of that, to your team. Now, the very first step to transition from data freelancer to data entrepreneur is, of course, to examine your options. Now, if you are a data service provider, there are only a few ways that you can scale that type of business model. So you could either take your service-based business and turn it into an agency, or you could turn it into a software as a service. Lastly, you could transition your business model into coaching and advising. Recently, I have created a video on the 4 very best business models for data businesses. I'll leave a link to that in the description below if you'd like to check it out. But for today's video, I'm going to assume that you're a data service provider and you want to transform that model into either an agency or a software as a service. Before going any further, I want to hear from you. I would love it if you would just tell us a little more about where you're at in your journey in building your data business, what your products and services are, and feel free to actually just link to your website in the comments below. Okay, look, so the very next step 2 in this process, is just for you to go ahead and start documenting your processes. So when I say processes, I mean, what is your sales process? What is your client delivery process? Document your client intake process. Also be sure to document your customer satisfaction processes as well as any processes you've built around customer retention. Now, the third step here is just going to be to optimize these processes either through automation or delegation. So let me get a little more specific with you here to try and help you out and bridge these gaps. You may not know exactly what I'm talking about now if you're new in your business. So let's look at sales real quick. You can 100% delegate and automate all of the work that goes into booking prospective client calls, so sales calls. You definitely don't need to be spending your time getting people booked into your calendar or also vetting them to see whether or not they're qualified to even be able to sign up as a client with you. You need to handle these sorts of things through your call setting processes or your prospective client call processes. And in terms of client interaction, actually most of that type of work can be delegated to an administrative assistant. But the first step to actually being able to delegate that is you've got to have clear policies and clear processes in place to instruct them on how to interact with clients on your behalf. In terms of client intake, that is super easy to automate almost all of it. You can use tools like Google Forms and Zapier, as well as ConvertKit. Those are the tools that I use right now. And in terms of service delivery, a lot of that can be delegated as well. Once you have built processes around the service you provide and you've documented all the little caveats and each and every step that needs to be taken, you can actually find virtual assistants or other fellow data experts to come in and follow the instructions and do the work on your behalf. That would then place you in the QA role. Ultimately, you are responsible for the work your business produces. So even if you don't do the work, you have the liability for it. So that actually is one of the things that I don't love about the service-based model is you own any liability associated with your work output, right? So you really, if you're going to delegate portions of your client work, client services, you need to make sure that you're QAing the work, that it meets your standards, that it's correct, and you'll have to manage the people that are doing the work, at least for now. So when you get further along, now in terms of my business, I don't do service-based business, but I still do product delivery, developing products. And so I have project managers, and they help me to manage incremental aspects of the project, but then I am still, of course, the product owner. In terms of scheduling, any sort of scheduling requirement, you definitely are wasting your valuable time if you're doing that yourself. Just send them a booking link. So I use Calendly, you can use Acuity or anything like that. And in terms of customer satisfaction processes, you want to build an automated process to basically follow up with your customers as they're receiving your service and then after they have received your service. So maybe at like 30%, 60%, and then check in with them maybe 15 days after your product has been, or your service has been delivered. So the email process, what that needs to look like during delivery is basically checking in with them to make sure that their expectations are not only met but exceeded, and figuring out what you can do to give them even more, like what ways you can over deliver to make their client experience as yummy as possible. And then after you've delivered the entire service, you want to go ahead and check in with people and try and collect testimonials, because those are going to be crucial to you in being able to make future sales. In terms of how do you actually collect those testimonials, that data from your existing clients or even your past clients, if you need to go back and get those, you can just go ahead and use Google Forms. That's what I do. Okay, so step 4 of what you do after you've built these processes and you've got some support in place is you need to update your messaging. Well, you need to upgrade your messaging, because congratulations, once you've gotten to this point, you have actually stepped up from freelancer to entrepreneur. So in order to stay in integrity with yourself and with your potential clients, make sure to go and update your marketing messaging, and also go over to your website, sales pages, anywhere you have a branded property, like on social media, and make sure that you're portraying that you're a business owner and not just a freelancer. In order to figure out where you need to update this the fastest, just think about how are clients finding you, and then make sure that those pathways, those channels are up to date in terms of your business model, and that you are a data entrepreneur, and that you can offer these incredible transformations, these incredible services. You and your team work hard to make sure that, that your customer satisfaction is 100% every single time, and whatever you need to do in order to just basically convey that you're not just in there trading dollars for hours, because that's never going to be scalable for you. So convey to them that you do have team, that you are a real business, and that you are committed to getting results for your customers. Definitely, you want to also look into any contracts or agreements that you put into place that you have your customers sign when they sign up for you. Make sure those are up to date. And of course, like I said, all of your sales materials, your sales pages, all of that needs to be reflective of the actual facts. So look, if you have been digging this conversation about how to go from data freelancer to data entrepreneur really, really quickly, then I know you're going to love my data entrepreneur toolkit. This is just a free toolkit of the 32 very best tools and processes on the market for growing your data business fast. These are the tools that I have discovered after 8 years of research and development and growing my own business, and it's the very same ones we used in order to hit multiple 6 figures in my own business, Data Mania. So you may want to check that out. Another tidbit about the toolkit is most of the tools inside them are either free or low cost. So I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Now, if you like this video, be sure to show it some love by giving it a thumbs up, and tell us in the comments below which of these steps was the most eye-opening for you. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can be the first to know when the next episode drops.